Hi friends, I'm Gio, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you just tuning in, The Dark is about a small colony, Nuestra, 55 light years from Earth. It's the story of the love between Ian, an injured pilot, and Rias, the tech who rescued Ian from his crashed ship and exposed himself to lethal radiation in the process. In our last chapter, Rias and Ian learned who ordered the attack on Ian's ship. Perlita de Leon, the second in command of Nuestra. Right before Tristan, the other traitor, ordered something called Falling Apple. This chapter takes place immediately after the other one. Chapter 17. Center Dome, CNC Tower. Ian. 4. System paused, Madre said, and went quiet. Perlita gave the command that killed my ship? Almost killed me? But it did kill my friend, Robinson? My knees gave out from under me. I had never hated anyone in my life. Now I did. She ordered the destruction of my ship. Damn you, Perlita, I yelled. Steady now, Gutierrez said, catching me before I fell. Countdown resumed. 3, Madre said. I'll kill you, Rias yelled. Where did he find the strength? He leaped over people and chairs and clawed at Perlita. No, Perlita screamed and backed up, her hands held up, trying to deflect Rias's attack. Get off! Rias's first punch hit, and both he and Perlita went down. He screamed, You killed Robinson, murderer! 2, Madre said, its voice flat and emotionless. Perlita fell back, arms held up between her and Rias, and he pounded her again. Ian could have died. Stop it, Perlita screamed, as blood dripped from her nose. Murderer, Rias screamed, and hit her again. 1. Madre system shutting down, Madre said, and went quiet. Rias, stop. Let me handle this, Emilio yelled, grabbing Rias's shoulders and pulling him off his aunt. No, let me go. She has to pay for what she's done, Rias yelled and tried to break free, but he was too weak. She did this to me. She did this to me, he yelled. Keep him away from me, Perlita yelled. Emilio sat Rias in a chair as Elias ran to him. Without Madre, my datapad's dead. Perlita tried to crawl away, blood trickling down her nose. I shook Gutierrez off and stood in her path. I clenched my jaw and cybernetic fist. You hurt a lot of people, I yelled, and pulled my fist back, and you destroyed my ship. You almost killed the man I love. Perlita cowered into a ball, her arms covering her face. Legal counsel, legal counsel, legal counsel, she screamed. Ian, stand down, Emilio shouted, and stepped away from Rias. You heard her, I shouted. I did. Let me handle this, Emilio ordered, his eyes cold steel. Gutierrez placed a hand on my shoulder and pulled me back. Come on, give the man some space. Look at what she's done, to me, to Rias, to my ship, my friends, I shouted. Ian, stand down, Emilio said again. These people have made an enemy of Bentley-Thwaite Corporation. Mr. Gunther can be meaner than all of us combined. Let him handle this. Elias took Emilio's place by Rias, and holding Rias's wrists, he shook his head. Rias, you don't have anything in the normal range. I'm getting you to medical. With what Perlita's done, she deserves to die, I yelled. That may be, but we don't have that authority, Roldan said. He held Tristan in a wrestling hold and didn't let go, no matter how much Tristan squirmed. Perlita's datapad sizzled. The screen melted, and something inside it popped. Tristan's datapad also sizzled, and melted down. Emergency, 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 Rias's datapad yelled. Contact with Perlita de Leon's datapad has caused a viral infection. Madre has infiltrated. Emergency. This system is overloading. "Datapad, erase all files, immediately. Return to basic operations," Rios yelled. He flipped through screens on his datapad. Then his datapad went dark. Rios dropped it, shaking his hands. The screen warped, and it smoked. It gave one last emergen as it died. Rios sat there looking at the dark screen, looking tiny and alone, jaw slack, eyes about to shed tears. "Datapad? Respond. Datapad?" I wanted to hit Perlita, avenge Robinson and my ship, but Rios needed me. His datapad had been like a brother to him. The screen on his datapad warped further and cracked into 1,000 pieces. "Emilio, we have a bigger problem," Carla yelled. "What?" Emilio said. "Madre has systematically wiped data. Data storage was at about 80% capacity. Now it's at 53. "Madre is supposed to be shut down," Gutierrez said. "It is now," Carla said. "Including everybody's medical files?" Elias yelled. "We need those." "I don't know, but it looks pretty severe," Carla said. "Perlita, Tristan, how did you do it?" Emilio said. "By Bentley-Thwaite protocols, I invoke my right to remain silent," Tristan said. "I as well," Perlita said. "I am getting tired of this." "Carla, ideas?" Emilio asked. "Ask somebody smarter than Perlita and Tristan, and who probably wants to get revenge. Rios, if you wanted to interfere with Madre's operations and had an unlimited budget and 5 mid-sized AI modules, what would you do?" Carla asked. Rios looked up from his now dead datapad, his mouth grim. "Set up an alternate AI network to reroute commands and communications so certain things don't even go through Madre. I believe Tristan set up a shadow partition inside Madre, sort of a split personality, and gave it a self-destruct command at the last minute. It erased itself, and anything they didn't want a full investigation to find. It probably erased a lot of other innocent things in the process." "Tristan, Perlita, is that what happened?" Emilio said. Tristan probably used a blanket wipe. Anything that had his name involved with it was erased. Medical files, employment records, familial relations, everything. "It would be like he didn't exist," Rios said. "Any record that has his name on it? His kids? His wife? They'd all disappear? If he was involved in any kind of accident, that and any other party would disappear," Elias said. "Any modifications or improvements he made to Madre that had his name attached. Poof," Rios said. "Not just him, but everything the traitors did over the last year or two." "The damage would be extensive," Emilio said. "What are they gaining from all this?" Gutierrez asked. "Time and lack of proof," Rios said, wilting in his chair. "Whatever they were doing is gone, and so is any evidence of it." "Except the damage they left behind," I said. "Emilio, Rios' condition was deteriorating before Madre shut down, and he does not look well. I must get him back to medical," Elias said. "We'll have to use the airlocks," I said. "Trams are down, remember?" "I'm sorry, Elias. Do what you can here, but we need Rios right now." "Any ideas about what they were using Madre for?" Emilio said. "That's a lot of space. Even with everything I did with my datapad, I didn't even use a fraction of that. I guess they were storing or processing information for the raiders," Rios said. "I bet that's how Perlita balanced the budget. Big payoffs that she had to hide somewhere," I said. "The Mason Garrett Wade Corporation developed and used the daggers, and the Hades Inferno," Rios said. "They are just as wealthy as Bentley-Thwaite, and just as powerful. So if we look hard enough, we'll find they are agents for a rival corporation," I said. "I don't think we can find anything. Look at the gaps in our data," Carla said. "Isn't deliberate damage to the function of a colony the death penalty?" Gutierrez asked. Perlita's mouth opened slightly, and Tristan stopped struggling. Emilio nodded. "That's up to corporate. I'm charging both of you with interfering with the survivability of Nuestra, treachery, collaboration with a hostile corporation, and murder. If you cooperate, I'll put in a word to Mr. Gunther. Maybe you'll get life on a penal colony." "I demand legal counsel," Perlita said. That's a delaying tactic, Roldan said. That's what I suspect too. Is security here yet? Emilio said. They're just walking in, Carla said. I want Perlita and Tristan held. No data pads and no access to communications and no visitors, Emilio said. I have a family. You have no right to deny me visitation, Tristan said. After what you just did to Madre, I have every right, Emilio said. Security, remove the traitors. Several uniformed guards entered and escorted Perlita and Tristan out of the room. What now? I asked. Carla, Tristan ordered 5 mid-sized AIs. If Tristan used one and Perlita had one, and they controlled Madre with another, that leaves 2 unaccounted. It looks like 2 more traitors are out there, Roland said. Or 2 more sabotaged systems, I said. Here's what we'll do, people. Elias and Ian, get Rias to medical. Rias, take whatever you need, but get your datapad working. We might need it to find the other AI modules. Gutierrez, I want you and the CNC dome manning sensors. I want to know the second the raiders get close. Roldan, find someone to take over your department. You're my acting second now. What about Carla? He asked. I need her unscrambling a lot of comm logs, Emilio said. Our first priority is finding out exactly what Tristan and Perlita did to Madre and getting it functioning again. Rias. I was so tired. Between Elias and Ian, we got to the grav lift parked in front of the CNC tower, and Elias drove us to the airlock. Without Madre, the dome seemed like a tomb. I held the remains of my datapad and stared at it. Are you okay? Ian whispered. I don't know anymore, I whispered back. Same here, Ian said. It's one thing to believe that the raiders just shot us down for intercepting a transmission. It's another when you know we were targeted. I held his hand and laid my head on his shoulder. Sometimes I feel so alone, Ian said. So lost. I've never been in a place as long as I have in Nuestra. Your captain will come back soon, and you can leave the nightmare, I said. That would be good for Ian. He could get back into space, return to work. But then I would be alone. It was selfish of me. But I hoped Rohan didn't come back for a long time. South Dome. Medical. Ian. Once again, we were back in medical. Same wide walls, same wide floor, beeping monitors. But this time, I laid next to Rias in his bunk. It was a tight fit, but I don't think either of us wanted to be alone. The incident with Perlita reminded us both of what had happened a month ago, how we both nearly died. Though that worried me, something else worried me more. Captain Ron would come back for me, and I would have to leave the man I loved. Though I would be back, I would never know if he survived his condition until I returned. I sighed and felt the ache inside. Could I leave Rias when Rowan came back? Could I give up my dreams and stay with him? I had dreamed of becoming a pilot all my life, of seeing the stars, traveling to places no one had been before. The last 4 jumps on the Bentley-Thwaite arm are Campbell Station, Nuestra Colony, SRK-12, and Taylor Station. They were the farthest from Terra that mankind had traveled. The LREV Zhenghe would go even further. Could I give up all that and stay here with Rias? There was another problem. Could I ever board a cargo hauler again? It had been hard enough boarding Shuttle 2. It wasn't that powerful, and it only went a few hours from home. A cargo hauler often went weeks before returning to its home port. Every time I thought about it, I panicked. Those last few hours aboard the Adi Shachar and then being pulled from its wreckage still terrified me. I should talk about it with Doc or Elias or even Rias. But I couldn't find voice for my terror. I hoped that by flying Shuttle 2, I'd get over the fear. And I thought I was, until the Dagger XF followed us. The lights were dim. Rias was hooked up to the cuff, and the electric blue gel flowed into his arm and throughout his body. Doc had taken my arm to be recharged and had realigned the nanite colonies inside Rias. Once again, my lover was stable. Fragile, but as normal as could be for him. The other bunks were empty, and the curtain to the hall was closed. Elias sat at the main desk out in the hall, and occasionally he walked around. In spite of the chaos of today, no one was injured. We were alone. Though Rias must have been exhausted, he sat on the bunk, his tools out, and pulled his datapad apart. He made 2 piles, components that might still work, and ones that would never work again. One of his AI modules was in each pile. He didn't talk. I sat up and rubbed his shoulders. "What's broken?" "It would be easier to tell what still worked," he said. "I've been upgrading and working on my datapad for years. I can't imagine this." "You give me a list of parts, and I'll go to salvage and see what I can find," I said, and kissed him. "Given time, the parts I can fix," he said. "But my life was on here. Everything I designed was here. Your arm, my replicas, Dad's arm, everything I had created, it's gone." "You made me an arm. Let me be your legs," I said. "I'll go to salvage." The worry lines around his eyes had increased, and his skin was pale. The nanite cuff gurgled as it tried to restore him. "You don't understand. Everything on my datapad is gone," he said, setting the datapad down. "I had pictures of my dad, of my mom, of my family, people I'd known over the years. It's like a piece of me has been erased. All my dreams, everything, it's gone." I sat on his right side and placed my arm around his shoulders. "You're lucky. I couldn't save my datapad. It's radioactive and under concrete." "I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm being rude," Rias said. "Did you have any backups?" I said. "They were on Madre," Rias said softly. "Get some sleep. I'll head off to salvage and see what I can find," I said, starting to rise. Rias looked away, his mouth clenched together for a moment. "Don't leave me. Please, stay." His hand took mine, and for a moment I think I saw how alone he must feel. "It's been a long day. Put your datapad down and let's just lay here," I said. We laid down. Rias cradled onto my left shoulder, his hand on my chest. The gentle gurgling of the nanite cuff eased the stress on his face. "I love you," he whispered. In seconds he relaxed and fell asleep. I did not. Could I leave Rias and fly again? Or do I stay with the man I love and give up the stars? I gently stroked Rias's cheek while he slept. The most talented, incredible, and smartest man I had ever seen. He was still the most beautiful man I had ever seen. He had saved my life. "I love you," I whispered. We both knew that my captain would come back for me. We didn't have much time together. Would he wait for me, even if I was gone weeks? Could our love survive that? Because of his condition, he couldn't come with me. The energy discharges of jump space would kill him immediately. I had some hard choices to make, and I didn't like them. Whichever way I chose, why did I feel like I would lose everything? I had to choose between love and the stars. Doc peeked around the curtain. "I can tell Rias isn't feeling well. My floor's clean. How is he?" "I finally got him to sleep. He couldn't stop working on his datapad," I said. "How can one person cause so many headaches?" Doc said, and rolled in a cart filled with boxes of old electronics, pieces of Zacharias' old arm, and bits of sheet metal. "He's Rias," I said. Doc gave me a wry smile. "That he is. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten mad at him, but I'm glad he's still around to screw up our lives. I've been saving the scrap for him. Tell Rias to take what he needs, but tell him he still owes me a shiny cart." "Will do," I said. Doc knelt next to the 2 piles of parts Rias had made. He picked up one of the burned-out AI modules and sniffed it. "Rias, how can you get in so much trouble? Give him these." Doc dropped 2 brand-new AI modules on the bed. "Doc?" I asked. "They're from some specialized surgical equipment and fresh from Campbell Station. Rias and his damn datapad. You can't have one without the other." "Don't tell Rias I gave them to you," Doc said. "Why are you doing this?" "Let's just say life wouldn't be as much fun if Rias didn't annoy everybody," Doc said. "I'll send Elias with you." "What are you talking about?" I asked. "Gutierrez called from Shuttle 2. I guess you're going hunting," Doc said as he left. Thank you for listening, friends. This story is completely different from what I normally do. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.